And a last example here in this learning target. Example 10, we are given the area of a sector is 67.5 square miles and a central angle of 64 degrees. And we're going to find the radius of the circle rounding to the nearest thousandth. There's a few different ways you can attack this problem. If you'd like to, you can use a formula that deals with degrees, or in this case what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my 64 degrees into radians. So we'll multiply that by pi over 180 degrees. It's a great idea to keep this as it is, and you could simplify the fractional part over here, 64 over 180, but it's not necessary. This is not a final answer. We're just using this value in performing some calculations, so you can just keep it like that if you'd like. Definitely would want to simplify that if it was a final answer. We're given that the area of the sector is 67.5. Got 1/2 r squared times theta. Theta is 64 pi over 180. There's many different ways that you can solve this for r squared. I'll just give you one method here. If you have a different method that works for you, then please go ahead and utilize that. I like to clean up my fractions here, so I'm going to multiply this 180 by 2. So I've got 67.5 is equal to r squared. And then in parentheses I'll have 64 pi over 360. Now to solve for r, I can multiply by the reciprocal, which is 360 over 64 pi. Of course, whatever I do to the right, I need to do to the left. So we've got 360 over 64 pi. Keep in mind 67.5 is over 1. And then we're going to be left with r squared is equal to 67.5 times 360. 64 pi times 1 is just 64 pi. And then we'll take the square root of all of this business right here. You could have simplified a little bit, in the middle. I prefer just to try to take care of some fractions and multiply by reciprocals. That's just kind of my method of my madness. And then all we need to do is just type this into the calc, and we've got 67.5 times 360. And we do need to use parentheses here for the bottom. Your calculator is not very good with the horizontal fraction bar as a grouping symbol, so you have to tell it to group. And then we can just hit enter here, and we've got about, let's see here, 10.9935. We're rounding to the nearest thousandth, so we should round that 3 to a 4. So our r value here, and we only want the positive value here. We don't need the negative one because radiuses are distances, and distances, well, they're positive. So this will be 10.994. And then this originally was in square miles, and keep in mind that we're looking for the radius of the circle, which is just the distance from the center to a point on the circle. Therefore, that's a unit of length, and so the unit of length here will be in miles. You could have written out just miles as well.